Both the King and the Princess of Wales have been discharged from hospital today, leaving the London clinic just a few hours apart. Kate will continue her recovery from abdominal surgery at home in Windsor after a 13-day stay, while the King had his stay in hospital after treatment for an enlarged prostate extended for a third night before he was discharged this afternoon. Joining us in the studio, talkTV's royal editor Sarah Hewson. Good to see you.
And you,
So,
Vanessa.
you know, we saw the King come out. He looked okay.
Yes, I think that was quite reassuring because when he had to stay in for an extra night, we were expecting him to be in for a couple of nights and then that was extended, stayed in again last night. He then walked out this afternoon with Camilla by his side, waving to the crowds, smiling, managing to walk to the car by himself. And I think that was very reassuring.
Yeah, no wheelchairs
for
or anything
people
like
to
that.
see him up on his feet about. And we know that it was a relatively routine procedure, a common procedure, but he is expected to take up to a month off public duties now in order to recover from
I'm
that
just watching
surgery.
to see, I can't help it, to see him sitting down, because this is going to be the painful bit, isn't it? And very wisely, one of his helpers there stands in front of him so you can't see it. I mean, honestly, on a human level, having an operation in hospital and then being filmed and your exit from the hospital just 3 days later being broadcast all around the world, my God, the pressure of that. It's huge, isn't it?
Well, I've always thought that when we've had to see Kate, for example, coming out on the steps of the Lindo wing, having given birth.
I know, too much
and
for
be
any
photographed.
human being.
But I think they will have made a conscious decision. He didn't need to come out of the front door.
No.
He didn't need to come out publicly. But I think they've made a very conscious decision that he wants to be seen, and he wants to be seen up on his feet, and he's heading back home. He'll be working from home. We won't see him on public duties for a little while, but then he will be back. And we know that the Queen, Camilla, has told him he needs to slow down. This might have been a bit of a wake-up call to him, but I imagine that he was getting itchy feet in hospital.
And also a very different picture, though, for the Princess of Wales, who did manage to emerge from the hospital privately, so we haven't seen her, and she's been in there an awfully long time, mother of 3 children in the hospital for 13 days. It's a long time.
Yes, just shy of 2 weeks as an inpatient at the London clinic following that abdominal surgery. But the Princess of Wales has left. She's now returned to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor when she's going to continue her recuperation. And as you say, she managed to get home without being picked up by the cameras. And there are cameras everywhere because we had the Princess of Wales and the King both staying in that hospital. The royal cameras everywhere. I think Kensington Palace will be very pleased that they managed to get her out unnoticed and back home to her family. She's going to carry on her recuperation at home. Prince William is making a judgment over the coming days, dependent on what they describe as her care and her recuperation, her recovery. When that's settled, then he will make a return to public duties. So I think for them, and we know this is always the case with the Prince and Princess of Wales, they're very clear family first. So his priority will be Kate and also their 3 children who've been without their mum for the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely, it's a very long hospital stay, especially in this day and age. Did we see Carol and Michael Middleton visiting her at the London clinic?
We haven't seen them, but we saw William on the first day, and then we didn't see him again. Now, there are multiple entrances where they are able to slip in and out, but we do know that Carol and Michael Middleton were on hand, particularly to help out with the children, where William is perhaps visiting his wife. They'd be doing drop-off and pick-up as well. They're a very tight-knit family, and they and close friends have all been rallying around and will continue to do so because it is going to be a long time before Kate is really back up on her feet. Major surgery that she's been through, and we're not going to see her out on royal duties until April. So, more than 2 months.
Certainly take this opportunity to wish her a speedy recovery.
Very much so.
Certainly so. And stepping into the breach has been Camilla doing a noble job. I remember years and years ago, people used to say work wasn't really her friend. She'd never been a worker and she didn't really like to show up much for any sort of activity. In fact, what she really liked to do was chill out. But my gosh, she's stepped into the breach with gusto, hasn't she?
She really has. And she has taken up that adage of the royal family need to be seen to be believed. So while the King was at home before his surgery and in hospital. She was out and about conducting a lot of engagements around domestic abuse, but also this weekend visiting him in hospital. Now, for any normal family, that is perfectly par for the course, but actually with the royals, that's quite unusual.
Yes.
They tend not to make a fuss, they tend not to go and visit. But a nice touch on Friday when the King visited Kate, and then Camilla's been popping in and out throughout the weekend.
Sarah, thank you very much indeed.